Good afternoon, participants. A warm good afternoon, participants. Sorry for the delay. Due to an untimely demise of near and dear ones of the speaker, we won't be having a plenary session right now. We'll be heading directly towards the presentations by the participants. I now welcome Dr. Harjit Kaur, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Sri Guru Gobind Singh College, Sector 26, Chandigarh. She'll be talking about the role of NEP towards assessment and reformation. Ma'am, I request you to present your presentation. You may share your
Okay,
screen.
okay, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good, a- good afternoon, ma'am. You may share your screen.
Okay, ma'am. Is PPT visible?
Not yet, ma'am.
Uh, is this
Yes,
visible?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. The topic of my presentation is the role of NEP towards assessment reformation. I am Dr. Harjeet Kaur and my co-author is Dr. Sumedha Vikram Khamna from Shri Guru Gobind Singh College, Sector 26, Chandigarh, India. First, I want to just brief introduction that NEP 2020 is a landmark policy introduced by Government of India with the objective of transforming the education system of the country. It replaces the previous national education policy formulated in 1986 and modified in 1992. The NEP 2020 is designed to address the changing dynamics of education and align with the needs of the 21st century. Overall, the NEP 2020 represents a significant shift in the educational landscape of India, with a focus on promoting creativity, innovation, and inclusive education. Its implementation is expected to have far reaching implications for the education system and the future of the country's youth. The objective of my present paper is to highlight the assessment reformation system in NEP and to provide essential steps to be adopted for assessment reformation in NEP 2020 by adopting certain new innovative methodologies which are mainly student centric in its nature. Now, regarding the brief overview of NEP, the key objectives of and goals of NEP, as I know, all of us know that universal access and equity, holistic development of the students among learners, which develop cognitive, social, emotional, and physical skills along with the academic knowledge. And second is flexibility and multidisciplinary approach, allowing students to choose subjects from various disciplines and fostering interdisciplinary learning. Then quality enhancement. The policy emphasizes on the need for enhancing the quality of education at all levels, so that it focuses on improving learning outcomes, teacher quality, and the overall educational infrastructures. The major changes proposed in the policy is early childhood education. The policy recognizes the crucial importance of early childhood education and proposes the integration of early childhood care and education into the formal education system. It further introduced 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system, which is basically eliminating the replacing the 10 plus 2 system. In this, it includes 5 years of foundational stage, age 3 to 8 years, then 3 years for preparatory stage, that is ages 8 to 11 years, then 3 years of middle stage, that is ages 11 to 14 ages, and 4 years of secondary stage, that is ages of 14 to 18 years. Then multilingualism and the mother tongue based education. The policy recognizes the importance of multilingualism and encourages the teaching and the preservation of regional languages. And the fourth major change is technological integration. NEP highlights the significance of technology in education. It aims to integrate technology in teaching and learning processes, assessment methods, and educational administrative. Uh, Now, the essential steps which should be adopted. So, before I mention the steps which should be essential for assessment reformation in NEP 2020, I just brought to notice that it is basically a comprehensive framework whose main purpose is to transform the education system to a greater extent. And in order to transform the education system, there is a need to mainly focus on two things, that is, assessment procedure and evaluation practices. And for assessment practices, NEP 2020 has put certain fundamental reforms in the purpose, design, and implementation of students' assessments. And while in the evaluation practices, they need to reform the examination system prevalent in the country. As their main aim is that the examination system must be effective in the sense that it must have credible and robust mechanism of certification. And the assessment procedure is comprehensive in nature in NEP, which not only concerned with learning the textbooks but enhance other abilities like analysis, critical thinking, creativity, social emotional skills, etc. In simple words, assessment needs to be more precise, visualized as an ongoing process that is instrumental in understanding how students are able to think and learn. Now, in order to focus upon certification examination, it encourages holistic learning and development rather than narrow content comprised with bookish content and knowledge only. So, thus in NEP context, it provides choices and flexibilities to students whose ultimate aim is to reduce stress and anxiety to a greater extent. So, the basic aim of this assessment reformation is to basically to reduce the academic stress and pressure and de-emphasize the coaching culture. Now, the various essential steps which should be needed for assessment reformation in NEP 2020. First is building strong consensus among stakeholders. The first and the foremost important steps is to make healthy and balanced communication between the educational institutions and their main stakeholders. It triggers out certain new ideas that in future enable the active collaborations. So this can be done with the help of well-reputed institutions, organizations, and universities, which should be consulted during such decisions. Second is active participation of stakeholders. The second step is that there is a need of agreement among stakeholders on what are the core and essential competencies that must be assessed through various systems of assessment. In order to enable this, we need proper contextual learning standards and competence frameworks and assessment processes for all subjects. Third is generating awareness among key stakeholders. This is the third step for reformation of assessment, is that if there is any kind of change exist in the policy or envisage a shift in the assessment, it should be in both at institutional level as well as in a systematic level. It is important that the rationale and motivation for any change in policy be openly or explicitly communicated to all stakeholders impacted by these changes. Fourth is capacity building. The fourth and another important step is that key stakeholders interested with the important task of assessment and evaluation must be provided with some kind of ongoing capacity building on various aspects of this assessment, as teacher capability is very much crucial for designing, implementing, and using valid and reliable assessments, must be strengthened by providing some regular training in that context on a frequent basis. Fifth is that teacher as a primary evaluator, we have to consider that means that they must go certain kind of basic freedom in some aspects, like to take independent decisions about teacher learning and assessment process should be based on their individual needs. So for this, the teacher must be fully supported by the head of the institution, whether school, college teachers, to exercise this autonomy. The next is introduction of holistic progress card. The basic purpose of this card is to form an important link between the home and the school, and will capture the uniqueness in the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains as opposed to the conventional report cards, which basically measures the achievement of the students in quantitative terms only, which will almost probably exist only once in an academic year. Then another is capacity to build standardization personnel. The seventh and most crucial step is assessment reformation is to make efforts to build a capacity of board personnel in standards and the processes for the purpose of test development and standardization. In simple words, the handbooks, guidebooks, and other kinds of reference material for test developers. And the last is the formative assessment process, is that it should provide motivation and direction towards improvement of the learners. In this, teachers begin with explicit instructions among students in the classrooms and followed by motivation of student towards discovery of new things. And in due course, the student will able to develop self-directed learning on the basis of which he or she is able to set goals for their future life. So this is just to how we can improve our assessment reformation system. At last, I want to conclude that the curriculum of the higher education system, of new education system, should be such that it provides opportunity to students for hands-on experiences or experiential learning. In general, the motive behind assessment is soul learning. In assessment reformation process, it is crucial that there is a need to focus upon collaborative learning techniques, which mainly include think, pair, share, brainstorming, peer touching, and fishbowl pedagogy, which provide huge chances and opportunities to students to develop critical thinking and the higher order thinking skills. In the meantime, they gradually learn to critically assess and analyze their own work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We can start with the Q&A sessions. Participants are asked to post their questions in the chat, in the comment section. Ma'am, in the meantime, Harjit ma'am, can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, you just said about high order thinking skills. So, do you think that it is easier to add high order skills and low order skills in higher education compared to school education? Because NCRT has been doing it so well. So, inculcating the same thing in higher education seems an difficult job. So, do you
Ma'am,
think it's easier?
I think it is a difficult job. It will take few years or maybe 3, 4, 5 years to make up with this NEP. I think definitely we can do, but it takes time.
Right. Thank you so much for the very interesting session, ma'am.
Yes. Are there any questions from the participants? No, I think there are no questions. So we can start with the next presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Harjit ma'am. I now request Mohammad Mujahideen Khan sir. He is assistant professor in Department of Arabic and Islamic Studies, Maharashtra, College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Mumbai. He'll be talking about experiential learning, curriculum design and implementation. Mohammad sir?
Yes, madam.
So
Madam,
you
my
can switch off.
PPT I shared in the morning with you.
Yes, yes, sir. I'll share the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
So is it visible?
Yes, madam. Now it is visible.
Okay, you can go ahead, sir.
Mm. Good afternoon, one and all. Myself, Mohammad Mujahid Khan. I am assistant professor in the Department of Arabic and Islamic Studies in Maharashtra College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Mumbai. Today, I am going to present a PPT on the topic Experiential Learning, Curriculum Design and its Implementation. And especially, we are going to discuss this in the context of New Education Policy 2020. Next slide. As far as experiential learning is concerned, so the father of modern concept of experiential learning, this title has been given to David Kolb, whose famous quote is that learning is the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. As we are talking about new education policy, so as we all know that this policy where it opens new vistas for the learners as well as teachers, and many new vistas it is opening. Along with that, it focuses on learning by doing, because it is a very old concept. It exists from the very beginning that the learners should study as well as they should learn the practical aspect of the theory that they are learning. But NEP 2020 lays special emphasis and makes it more clear and more vivid to every institution, to every teacher, that the learner must get hands on experience of everything that he is studying, that he is reading. David Kolb, as I told you already, that he is the founder of the modern concept of experiential learning, and he has presented a complete cycle in which he says that concrete experience should be the first base, first step for a learner. Second, we should ask the learner to observe and reflect. The third one, he said that it should be formation of abstract concepts. Whatever he is learning, he should develop a concept that actually what that thing is. And the fourth, he says that testing the new concepts. And he also writes in the ending of this cycle that it should be repeated again and again. So, as far as NEP is concerned, okay, all these four steps that David Kolb had described as the you can say backbone of experiential learning, though they have not been mentioned word by word. But if we talk about the soul, about the spirit that exists in NEP, it is almost the same idea given by David Kolb. Next slide, madam. Now, in the context of NEP, when we are talking about how to develop the curriculum of experiential learning, so first of all, let us get an idea what actually experiential learning is, because it is very clear for everyone. If we read this term experiential learning, so it becomes clear for us that it is learning by doing. Even Confucius, he had given this idea almost, I think, 5,000 years back, that learning by doing is the best form of learning. So, learning by doing means this is the first definition. And when we are talking about these aspects of learning, experiential learning, like learning by doing, logical tactics, critical, rational, and creativity, all these things are taken from the documents that have come before us in the form of NEP preparation. The documents that have come before us for NEP preparation, all these concepts have been given there, and they are nothing but the best form of experiential learning. It is a pedagogical philosophy that emphasizes learning through direct engagement with real world experiences, and it is not a new thing. Experiential learning, as I already told, has been with us for a long time. Like trips to various fields, schools have been taking their students, colleges have been taking their students to various fields and gardens and somewhere else. So that is nothing but a form of experiential learning, or playing role of different great men and great women. That is also a part of experiential learning. And there are many things that could be cited as an example of experiential learning. So it is nothing but a direct engagement with real world experiences. Next slide, madam. Now let us talk about what are the principles of experiential learning, because when we are going to talk about the curriculum development as far as experiential learning is concerned, so we must know that what are the pillars of this a format of education called experiential learning. So, as you can see, there are four words given on the screen. These are not four words, but four full practices which are required to make experiential learning a success. And while developing the curriculum, we are discussing this because while developing a curriculum for experiential learning, for hands on experience, we must keep these four aspects in mind. The first one is engagement, because for a long time, especially our colleges and higher level institutions are doing one thing that is called chalk and talk. It is not wrong to go with this process of chalk and talk, but in this, it is just one way communication. Now it needs to change. NEP emphasizes on let the learners indulge in the process of learning, because so far the teachers speak, the students listen, they take down the notes and they appear for exam, they pass and they get a grade. But now NEP wants to give a holistic approach to all this process, and engagement, which is the first ladder or first step of the ladder of experiential learning, that has been emphasized on. The second one is reflection, because many we can say educationists like John Dewey and Jean Piaget and others have been talking about it, but now in the modern concept it has been made compulsory that a child must reflect as far as experiential learning is concerned, because without knowing what is going on in his mind, how does he reflect, how does he react to the concept presented before him, the process of learning or teaching remains incomplete. That's why experiential learning comes a very handy tool here for all of us, because when the child reflects in the form of his actions, so we come to know whether he has understood the idea or he has not understood. The third one is application. That is the base of experiential learning, and it is nothing but how the child reacts to the job that he has been taught. For example, if we teach him to swim in the class, means in this experiential learning process, so after that we need to see that in his practical life, how does he apply all this knowledge. And the fourth one is feedback, which is the backbone of experiential learning, because every learner, and not only learner but all the stakeholders including teachers, parents, and all these people, they combine their efforts to give a good feedback so that experiential learning becomes successful. So these are the four pillars as far as experiential learning is concerned. Next slide, madam. Now, before we proceed to prepare the curriculum for experiential learning, let us talk about three aspects of a good curriculum. How do we form a good curriculum which is beneficial for the learners? The first beauty that should be found in every curriculum is educational techniques, new and old, both of them. It should be found there. If educational techniques are not there, and especially the new ones which create interest in the learners, so that curriculum would not be able to hit the target. The second one is learning experiences, because of course this has been written in the middle because it is one of the most important, rather the most important aspect or part of learning curriculum preparation, because learning experiences, it is our day-to-day life. We learn through various experiences. Now the only thing is that while preparing a curriculum, we must focus that each learner, when he attends a lecture, at the end he should know, or he should realize, or she should realize that today I have learned something new, something fruitful. Likewise, our curriculum should be prepared as far as experiential learning is concerned. And the last one is students' performance assessment, which is very common, which has been going on for many centuries, that we keep assessing that how far we have been able to teach the idea, the concept to the learner. Next slide, madam. Now let's delve into the crust, or we can say the most important part of what we want to discuss in this PPT, and that is curriculum development and experiential learning. various experts have given their suggestions, and I have tried to like rummage through all of them, and then I have tried to discover or just sort out a few ideas of that, because there are scores of idea, plethora of ideas given for curriculum development and experiential learning. Because first one which is given is that every curriculum should be ever evolving. It should not be a stagnant one. It should not be something that was decided long back and it is going on yet. That is the first aspect that should be found in the experiential learning curriculum, that it should be changed if necessary, semester per semester or year per year. But it should means imbibe some changes every year, we can say, or every semester. Some people have gone to the extent of saying that even if after some days we have to change it, so there is nothing wrong in it. The second aspect of curriculum development is that it should be research based, because education is very much fruitful and beneficial for the learners when it is based on research. So if we want to prepare experiential learning curriculum, it should be based on research based techniques. The third one is it encourages collaboration. Nowadays, NAC is also emphasizing a lot on industrial collaboration. But here we do not mean only industrial collaboration, but the collaboration of various stakeholders like parents, teachers, students, and many other people who can help the learner to learn advanced techniques of experiential learning. The fourth one is it should focus on the needs of students, because now the teachers and parents and other stakeholders, they have become secondary stakeholders. And in the new education policy, we see that the learner is the first stakeholder. He is the primary stakeholder. So we should focus only on students, on learners for curriculum development as far as experiential learning is concerned. And the fifth one is accessible objectives, because David Klopp has made it very clear that goals which we cannot realize, or in simple words, which we cannot achieve. So he said that they can never be the part of or the part of the process of experiential learning. So our goals should be realistic one. They should be accessible. They should be achievable. Next slide, madam. As far as preparation of curriculum is concerned, so just now we discussed the 5 aspects, but implementation, which is a very crucial area as far as experiential learning is concerned. So implementation should be done keeping 4 things in mind. First of all, it should be a practical idea. Practicality should be checked whether it is able to be practiced by the learner or not. Mark Twain, I would like to quote Mark Twain here. Madam, am I consuming too much time?
No, no, sir. Please go ahead. No problems.
Thank you. Mark Twain, the famous English writer, I would like to quote him here. He had said that training is everything. The peach was once a bitter almond. He wants to say that training is everything. Things change. Things change, fruits change, vegetables change. So why won't human beings change? So though he had said this sentence in a jest, but actually practicality, what we call training, that is a very, very important aspect of learning. And in chalk and talk, as we saw previously, these things are not possible to implement. That's why NEP, as far as experiential learning is concerned, in this arena, NEP introduces emphasis, or we can say stress, on practicality. The second is trial and error, because trial and error gives a student freedom to fail. For a long time, especially those who are teachers now, in their childhood, they have suffered a kind of phobia, and that was exam. Though it has been reduced in the later period, but in our childhood, we have seen that what a nightmare exam would give us. But now, in this new education system, we have been given a liberty as far as experiential learning is concerned, that trial and error. When you experience something, so you commit mistakes. And as the theory aspect has made passing an exam a very difficult process. So as far as the curriculum preparation of experiential learning is concerned, we should keep these ideas at bay. It should be trial and error. We can try, we can commit error, and every error, every mistake becomes a ladder of success for us in future. So this we should include in curriculum in experiential learning. The third one is momentary, monetary dividends. This I have added without any reference because what I personally believe is that when we are giving experiential learning, this chance, this opportunity to students, so we must add some monetary gains for them. Okay, if they are too small, if we cannot hand over these monetary gains to them directly, so it should be handed over to their parents. But it is a human psychology that when we gain something, when we get something, so we get more enthusiastic about that thing. And experiential learning, it is that what we can say tool which can provide students a chance to earn, though it will be a chicken feed, though it will be just a meager amount that we will provide them, but still it will open their minds up for learning more and more. Because if they are given these monetary gains, surely they are bound to work more and more to gain excellence. And the last one is versatility and flexibility. And this is what NEP is showing us this path that so far in BA, I teach in BA, so the student had very limited options, but NEP is opening a whole, what we can say, arena or a plethora of opportunities for the learners so that they can learn whatever they want. If they want to take any subject from any stream, they are being given a chance to be flexible about that choice. And that is what experiential learning is. Because if the students are given a chance to learn by themselves, definitely in the beginning they commit mistakes, but later on they gain excellence in it. And as we see that the famous speech on YouTube, it is given by Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple. He had said that he was in the regular college, but he left it because he did not find it interesting. And he said that I went into a calligraphy class. But he said that many people criticize me. You are leaving the mainstream subjects and you are going to learn a useless subject like calligraphy. But he says that all the fonts that you see in Microsoft Word today, so many of them have been given by the art of calligraphy that I had learned in that time. So had I not learned it, so today Microsoft Word would have been bereft or bereaved of these fonts. So this is what happens when a child is given flexibility. So he learns something through his own choice and he creates international fame into it. Next slide, madam. The last one is that I have written a question, can dreams come true? Experiential learning. And many people are talking about the prospects of introducing experiential learning in institutions and introducing students to direct what we can say practical aspects of theory or whatever they were learning so far in the institution. So many people are doubtful about it, but actually it is not a question to ask, can dreams of experiential learning come true? Actually, it is time to believe in the light of NEP, surely the dreams come true. Thank you very much. If there is any question, please do ask it.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, I'd like to ask you a question that in the lieu of this experiential learning in a language classroom, I mean, in a non-humanities classroom, it's much more easier compared to a linguistic classroom. So,
Yes,
what are
madam.
your views on experiential learning in a language classroom?
Madam, experiential learning in language classroom or for that matter in any subject if we talk about, and if you have asked about a language classroom, so it is much easier and it is much fruitful here because already we have seen language labs Many institutions nowadays are having their own personal language labs, and they are nothing but experiential learning. A child is given a cubicle, he sits there, he is given a software, and he practices vocabulary there, he practices pronunciation there, he practices sentence formation there. So already this is going on successfully on international level, that language labs have proven that experiential learning direct through experiences is possible, and not only possible, rather it is easier, and it is very much fruitful, very much useful also.
But language, this classrooms, to some extent, they are a one-way of teaching. And experiential learning requires a proper feedback, look after by a teacher. So, do you think that will, to some extent, be not meet the criteria of experiential learning?
No, madam, I don't feel like that, because you are right. Because in language, it is means most often one-way traffic. If we talk about, it is always that chalk and talk method that works in the language lab. But I think that as soon as we introduce experiential learning, means learning by doing. In simple words, experiential learning is a heavy term, but if we discuss it in the light or with the term of learning by doing, so I think language classes will benefit the most, because here the teacher will just speak for a few minutes, you can say, in the beginning, and then the students will be given a chance to learn everything through practical. So it will prove more useful for them.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an interesting
Thank
session.
you.
I now move towards the next presentation. I request Professor Dr. Rameshwar Dusunge, sir. Dusunge, sir, am I audible to you?
तुमच्याबरोबर आला का काय? ते म्हणला माझी गाडी घेतली. बस आम्हाला काय
Dusunge, sir?
Hello,
Yes, sir. Sir,
I'm
can
here,
you speak
ma'am,
for
but I can't. I'm here, but ma'am,
Yes, sir.
I can't hear you. I'm here, but I can't listen you.
Okay. Sir, am I audible now?
Yeah. Now you're audible. Hello, shall I start,
Yes,
ma'am?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam. Good afternoon to one and all. I'm Dr. Rameshwar Busunge from New Law College, Ahmednagar. Today, my presentation is on the pedagogy of experiential learning in legal reasoning. That is, three parts are related to it. That is democracy, discourse, and
Dusungi sir, sorry to disturb you, but can you put on your camera?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because you're only audible. Yeah, now it's okay. Yes.
So my topic for presentation is the pedagogy of experiential learning in legal reasoning, that is democracy, discourse, and community. So am I audible now, ma'am?
You
Am
are,
I
sir,
audible?
audible and visible. Yes, sir. You can go on.
So this is the very right choice of the topic, ma'am, for the webinar, that experiential learning related to it. Our law profession has very much given the weightage to the experiential learning as the very type for competitions. Courts are held, elocution debate competition. Then point of us is that to develop the in regard of becoming a good lawyer, because for lawyering skills, these elocution competition, debate competition, moot competition, practical training papers are there in legal profession. So learning legal reasoning through experiential learning is a central part of any undergraduate law degree, and remains a threshold concept, one which is vital for any law student to grasp such concept, and which is of utmost often difficult to explain too. So it is a form of reasoning which is very distinctive to the discipline. My presentation explores the applicability of learning theories typically used to ground pedagogy in higher education to the specific task, such as I mentioned earlier, that moot court competition, elocution competition. And these are becoming the versatile teaching legal reasoning topics in law syllabus. And experiential theories of learning in legal education are highly applicable in all forms of higher education, and they need to be used with a clear focus on the specific nature of legal reasoning. Now in the syllabus, so in the syllabus of Savitribai Phule Pune University also, the legal reasoning paper has been introduced at the second year of 5-year law course, and that will of course prove beneficial, as well as that way would give the advantage to the students in that sense. And however, steps are needed to take to avoid replicating the hierarchy of the legal community within educational communities, because always these professional courses and the general courses are compared, and in these professional courses, this experiential learning always help the students to mold their personality as well as to become a good lawyer also. So overall, the pedagogy of legal reasoning needs to pay attention to the specific nature of legal argument, such as argumentative skills or written skills, and the students are required to take it seriously at individual level at starting point, and also these private classes of law course, they are only the tutors, but what the experiential learning takes place in the college only, that becomes the plus point of the students. So the pedagogical innovation has become a necessary part of higher education in general, but so far as this legal education is concerned, that this innovation has to be brought in a practical nature. And within university legal education, this trend has focus on developing a non-traditional learning context, non-traditional approaches that appearing for the theory papers and qualifying the degree, and later on directly joining in the court. So before that, these legal clinics in the sense that these legal clinics help the student in their studentship or during the studentship, that to form the skills in such a way that these argumentative skills are to be developed. And all these approaches have involved deep reflection on pedagogy and uh, the various theories also. However, less attention has been made to pedagogy, that is framing the curriculum and learning theory within the most traditional activity of undergraduate level education, and also the teaching of legal reasoning also. So in legal reasoning also, the students becomes able to resolve the problems which have come before them in the through the clients, where as the client approaches towards an advocate, the first of all he has applied the experiential learning theory as well as how to resolve the problem. And such competitions or such trainings give him the benefit of resolving the problem, the solutions which are before them. And given that this remains a central part of what law graduates are expected to be able to do, and reflect on its pedagogy is important. So framing curriculum is also very important, because as the practical training paper has been introduced to the students, when I joined in the year 1996, only theory papers were there and no practical approaches were given to the students. And that is why students in those days were unable to argue before the court of law using the good language as well as using the good techniques of lawyering. So legal reasoning as Twinning and Mears. These are the linguists who have been described it as that it is a process of interpretation and application of legal rules and principles. So, however, understanding what legal reasoning requires is challenging for students because of its highly specific and sui generis nature. Sui generis nature is a Latin term which means that su moto means that the student has to perform self activities, and as such, much of the reason why legal reasoning is difficult for the students, because the applicability of the mind and resolving or solving the problems become an obstacle for the student, and that is why such paper legal reasoning is becoming difficult for the students at initial stage, but later it proves the beneficial for the student, and it is different to other forms of reasoning. Legal reasoning is differs from the other forms of reasoning which they may have learned previously, and because of this, in many ways, counterintuitiveness is developed, and understanding the reasoning from authority can be seen as threshold concept within legal education. So such a type of legal reasoning is always beneficial for the lawyers, as they can be they are able to resolve the problems. So it has been argued throughout the means it has been a topic for argumentation, that whether legal reasoning can be done by the ordinary person or not, but it's not possible, because the lawyering techniques are differ from the techniques of the police department also. When police investigates a matter, they have their own technique, whereas a lawyer goes through the technique of lawyering skills, and that is the initial difference in it. So legal reasoning is neither one right answer type of exercise nor a highly individualized process focused discussion, which adopts pedagogic strategy wholesale from constructivist approaches, which are likely to lead to students and misunderstanding the nature of this crucial aspect of legal reasoning. So above all, at the end, I would conclude it as that this exploration requires academic legal educators to have confidence in what we are doing for the students, and what kind of syllabus is to be framed. That experiential learning is to be concentrated. The new qualifications framework of the Solicitors Regulation Authority prioritizes that this is a new code which has been recently introduced, that individual at the individual context knowledge through its statement legal knowledge, with little attempt to require future solicitors to demonstrate the ability to participate actively with the intellectual level in various strategies of the legal pedagogy. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? Sir, I just want to ask that to what extent does your MOOC course and mock trials help the students to give that practical experience of facing when they go in this career, in a legal career?
Of course, ma'am, 101%. These moot court competition and various moot court competition, mock parliament, all these are the experiential learning activities which are which prove very much beneficial, in the sense that the student is well prepared in experiential learning while securing the knowledge of law as a student, and he has been given the practical approach here, that in our college we have a setup of moot court competition hall. Like a court, we have installed such a hall where the student stands and argues before the judges. The senior lawyers are called from our court here, and being the judges, they observe the students how they are arguing, and if they are committing any errors or any skills are to be developed among the student, such opportunities are given to the students, and they are asked to develop their lawyering skills through that practical training and moot court competition, mock parliament. Over, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
I now request Mr. Narendra Gauri, research scholar, SK Gandhi College, Kada, District Beat, Maharashtra, to present his paper. Gauri, sir?
Yes. Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes,
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 sir, you
you
are
are.
audible, sir.
Okay, okay. Please bear me. I'm traveling. Shall I put my video? Yes, yes, ma'am. Okay. Uh, Myself, Narendra Gauri from SK Gandhi College, Kada. Today, I would like to present a paper on technology integration in teaching, learning, and innovation. Am I audible, ma'am? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. You are
Okay,
audible, sir.
okay.
But
I
you are
can,
not visible,
I,
sir. Can
shall
you
I?
put on your camera, if possible?
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
My paper topic is technology integration in teaching, learning, and innovation. As we all know, NEP has highlighted focused on technology and integration and its use. So, tendency among researchers, it improves creative thinking. It also plays a vital role, and it also plays a role of guide, which is more innovative in the field of research. It also removes the fear among the scholars while using technology to gather data for the academic research required in their programs. Promoting technology literacy, the word is evolving at a break pace, make technology at the heart of it. The only way to progress is to keep moving forward. We must adapt to the current technology environment. It will teach the future of the country to be technology proficient by teaching every student how to use it. It guarantees that students will learn how to code, program, eventually to become their own employers. It is also useful in various forms of teaching experience, facilitate learning, promote innovative thinking. It integrates many forms from using of basic tools like computers, projectors, to more advanced technologies such as virtual reality, artificial intelligence, and online collaboration platforms. In digital context, teachers can use digital textbooks, educational websites, and online resources to supplement or replace traditional teaching and textbook and teaching materials. NEP has also emphasizes the importance of digital literacy for students, teachers, and other stakeholders. While using interactive whiteboards, they allow teachers to display digital content and engage students throughout their interactive lessons. Also, educational softwares are available in market for use of custom lesson plan, tracking student progress, mentoring, providing personal feedback, and so on. Another method is flipped classroom, which is used by teachers for to deliver lectures or content outside of classroom, freeing up class time for more interactive and hand activities. Learning with technology is also useful for online learning platforms. They offer they often provide a wide range of course and educational materials for students to access from anywhere with an internet connection. Recently, the in pandemic situation, work from home is the best example of this. Virtual labs are useful for hand-on learning experiences in subjects like science and engineering. Also using video conferencing, virtual classroom, tools to connect with students and facilitate remote learning. Innovation with technology, STEM education. As UGC has motivated technology integration through STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics for education and fostering innovation and problem solving skills. Another example is code programming, teaching coding and program like skills which encourage students to think creatively is also prepare them for career in technology and innovation. It also includes coding and robotics programs for thinking and problem solving skills. Another one is make spaces. This creative technique is used to access tools and technologies such as 3D printers and electronics. Then entrepreneurship and education. Technology can be used to teach students about entrepreneurship, including business planning, marketing, research, e-commerce, and so on. The benefits of technology in education are increasing day by day. It accesses to information, personalized learning, development of essential digital literacy. However, there are various challenges also simultaneously. There are advantages and also disadvantages of technology. A digital context, we can focus on multimedia resources, learning materials, which is available on website at Google and so on various platforms. We also have interactive whiteboards, which are used to display to make lessons more engaging and interactive. There are open and online courses also. As we are well known aware, a faculty development programs are available. SWAYAM, MOOC is one of the best example. So, as far as the technology is concerned, it also highlights, it provides students, teachers with access to vast amount of informations and resources, including online libraries. We also have Enlist software for library. All faculty are aware of it. Database, educational websites for comprehensive understanding of topics. Through technology, we can assess, we can do assessment and feedback also. There is also one more method, LMS, Learning Management System, which platform is useful to manage course content, assessments, and student progress. It is also used for professional development program. As I mentioned, like refresher courses are conducted online and various SWAYAM courses, MOOC courses. Then talking about NEP 2020, digital infrastructure is also important. It recognizes the importance of robust digital infrastructure in educational institutions. It aims to provide internet connectivity and access to digital resources in schools and colleges. This policy also promotes development of use of high quality digital content, e-resources to make learning more interactive and engaging. Blended learning. Then we have flexible credit system. Technology plays a crucial role in facilitating credit transfer and course selection. The policy also encourages the use of data analytical research to make informed decision education. It also plays crucial role in collecting and analyzing data related to students' performance, teacher effectiveness, and educational outcomes. And also, there is also evaluation method adapted by technology. It includes online exams also, computer-based testing, automated grading system, Our best example is of NAC accreditation. As we all know, we are aware, 70% accreditation is done online and 30% is done physically. We all are aware of this NAC accreditation. Then multilingual e-content development, which is used for creation of quality e-content in various regional or language also. It can be help in creation of contents in various languages, making education more inclusive and accessible to all stakeholders. Then there are startup programs also, which supports the growth of education. Its aim is to create ecosystem that fosters innovation in teaching and learning. Then we have flexible academic bank of credit system, as we are all aware. In the morning, resource person has talked about it, so I will not focus on this. Then we have equity and inclusion. NEP 2020 recognizes the digital divide and aim to bridge it. Efforts are made to ensure that technology is accessible to all, especially to all disadvantaged and marginalized communities. To conclude, the National Education Policy places a strong emphasis on technology integration in education, teaching, learning, research, and innovation. It provides more flexible platform, technology-driven education system that prepares students for challenges of the 21st century. This policy aims to transform India into the education system by emphasizing technology integration, promoting a holistic approach to education. Here's how technology integration, teaching, learning, and innovation are addressed in NEP 2020. NEP emphasizes multidisciplinary approach in education and the need to nurture a curious and creative mind with a view to develop, analyze, and critical thinking abilities at an early age. These are the skills essential for framing the right research questions and for bringing about the required and relevant outcome solutions. This approach will therefore be instrumental in giving a meaningful trust to research and innovation, serving as yet another significant context in the long-term and sustainable research endeavor of India. With this, I conclude. Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity. I would like to thank Honorable
Thank you
Principal
so
of Pemraj Sarda College and Founder of NEP, Dr. Swati Rokre Madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you for adjusting in such a busy schedule. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
I now request Mrs. Priya Sarda ma'am, Head Department of Commerce, to give her vote of thanks.
Thank you, Bhune ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. What an insightful and enriching day it was, full of ideas and thoughts. On behalf of NEP Committee of Pemraj Sarda College, Ahmednagar, I, Priya Sarda, would like to express my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor of SPPU, Professor Dr. Suresh Gosavi Sir, for his esteemed presence in today's event of NEP webinar. A huge round of applause and a sincere thanks to Dr. Sankar Sir for enlightening us with the vision, the objectives of NEP. Dr. More Sir and Dr. Harkal Sir could not be with us in today's webinar due to some personal family emergency. Many congratulations to the paper presenters of today. You all did an excellent job and our best wishes with all of you. A thank you to our active audience for their valuable input, suggestions, and questions. This program, this webinar would not have been possible without the support of our principal, Dr. Maheshwari Gavit ma'am of Pemraj Sarda College. We sincerely thank you, ma'am, for your support and guidance. The management of a college has always been the backbone in any small or big program that we conduct. We thank them for their valuable support. A big thank you to the NEP team of our college, the technical staff and the non-technical staff. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, participants and presenters. I hope you must have learned a lot about experiential learning in the conference. The link for the feedback form is shared in the comment section. Thank you so much for your cooperation. We'll call it a day then. Thank you so much.